Hey folks, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at two heroes from the Boiling Tension story arc in Heroescape Age of Annihilation, Imperator Kayne and Scavorith, Lord of Ruin. Right up front, I want to thank Renegade Game Studios for sending me these figures to review on my channel. I'll leave unaffiliated links to the items I talk about in the video description. I've also previously covered other releases from this arc, so I'll link those videos at the end. I should also mention that the figures we're looking at today are of the pre-painted variety. However, unpainted figures are also available for any hobbyists out there. Go with what works best for you. It might just be me, but Imperator Kayne and Scavorith, Lord of Ruin, both sound like names forged from the guzzling-fueled nightmare world of Mad Max. I think director George Miller would give them both a thumbs up based on names alone. But, as you know, George Miller is also a gentleman and connoisseur of Heroescape. Would he also give these figures a thumbs up based on their army card design? Let's find out. Imperator Kayne is a Vorid champion who follows the Valkyrie general Valorak. Operating his fossil-fueled steampunk walker, Kayne marches into battle, ready to trample the competition. For foes outside his immediate reach, he can set his sights on them with his Gatling gun armament. Kayne is a single-spaced, large Vorid hero, and features a wonderfully simple army card design. I'm always on the lookout for great examples of simple scape, and this is definitely one of them. Let's take a look at his sole power, Stomp. Once per turn, at any point during Kayne's normal movement, he can attempt to stomp on a small or medium enemy figure adjacent to his path of travel. With a d20 roll of 8 or higher, the figure receives 1 wound. Any ability that allows you to bypass a figure's defense can be a godsend in certain matchups. Similar to Knight Primus Adelburn, his Stomp ability allows you to delete smaller threats from the map before lining up your real attack. Since Kayne is a ranged combatant, you're unlikely to be fielding him in the front lines. However, I have found a lot of utility in keeping him around the mid-range, stomping on enemies as he treks from position to position. You have to be careful though. If you flub your stomp roll, you'll be stuck in an engagement that you might not wish to be in. Use this ability wisely, lest you be overwhelmed when your opponent retaliates. Right now, Imperator Kayne is a standalone hero who receives no real bonding or synergy from anyone in particular. This is likely to change in the future, but for now, he has to get by on his own merits alone. At the moment, I find him best used as a late-game cleanup figure when the board is sparse and he can start to abuse his range more. Kite your opponent, then stomp on them when they get too close. It's an interesting, yet fairly straightforward set of tools that he brings to the table. I grew to really like this figure in casual contemporary games, even though I wasn't sure I'd warm up to him at first. Hopefully a common bonding squad will raise his stock somewhat, but there's also nothing wrong with drafting him into your army right now. So that's Imperator Kayne. Let's now tackle the self-proclaimed Lord of Ruin himself, Scavorith. A massive metal centipede with chain guns for hands is certainly worthy of the title. Scavorith is a huge Isonek figure that can dominate a battlefield if left unchecked. His stat block alone is a terrifying sight, though it ought to be for the steep price of 185 points. In addition to great stats, he also sports a pair of abilities that will aid him in his fight. Double Burst Special Attack allows Scavorith to attack twice out to a range of 4. While certainly not among the strongest special attacks out there, the ability to bypass certain opponents' countermeasures given its special attack nature is always welcome. His second ability, Battle Surge, is where Scavorith really earns his reputation though. After taking a turn with Scavorith, you may reveal the X order marker on his card to take another turn with him. There is a catch, however. If Scavorith does not attack a figure during that second turn, he suffers a wound. Additionally, he cannot use his double burst special attack during this additional turn. That means he must be close enough to his enemy to engage in melee combat. I don't think Scavorith minds this limitation though. As previously mentioned, his special attack only has a range of 4, so you're going to need to have him fairly close to the enemy regardless. Plus, with 7 life and 4 defense, Scavorith can throw down with some of the hardiest figures in Heroscape's history. In my opinion, it's the 5 move on a double-spaced figure that's likely to be his biggest limitation. Climbing terrain is always the hurdle facing double-spaced figures, and 6 move certainly feels better in this regard than 5. With that being said, his sculpt is not likely to cause any issues, as he beautifully weaves and conforms to the peanut base, even when surrounded with higher terrain. This added degree of maneuverability is not something that can be said about some other huge Age of Annihilation figures. While perfectly respectable on his own, I would be remiss not to mention the incredible synergy Scavorith has with the Iron Lich Viscerot from Revna's Rebuke. The Iron Lich has the ability to puppeteer his forces, allowing you to take a turn with any unique Iceneck hero or squad after activating him. This allows you to run both the Viscerot and Lord of Ruin in the same army and activate both every single turn. As if that wasn't enough, however, the Iron Lich also has the ability to use his 3 Vile Injection markers throughout the game on Scavorith, boosting his attack and movement speed by 2 for a single turn. Scavorith can even make use of those Vile Injections during his extra Battle Surge turn, essentially allowing you to double inject and wreak some serious havoc. Imagine a scenario in which you revealed your 3rd order marker on the Iron Lich, then Vile Injected Scavorith before taking a turn with him, attacking an enemy hero with 7 dice. Then you revealed your X order marker on Scavorith and took another turn with him after boosting him with a 2nd Vile Injection marker for yet another attack of 7. Then imagine you won initiative the following round and got to reveal your 1st order marker on the Iron Lich and do it all again. 3 unrelenting attacks of 7 is nearly impossible for any target to walk away from, and that's not even including the attacks you can make with the Iron Lich itself during those turns. This combo can be game-defining, if you can pull it off. And it really is that last sentence that matters most, if you can pull it off. There are a lot of moving parts inherent in this combo, knowing when to activate the X order marker, knowing when it's right to rush Scavorith in, keeping the Iron Lich within 5 clear sight spaces of Scavorith so you can inject him, and continue injecting him once he reveals the X and moves again. It's a lot, and throughout the local events I've hosted, I've been asked, how does Vile Injection work? Enough times that I should put it on a t-shirt. The Iceneck army is not a beginner-friendly army, and I think you're going to have some bad games with them before you have any good ones. Still, I don't want to make it sound like it's an insurmountable challenge to play them or anything. Heroscape at its core is not a complicated game. It's just that the Icenecks are comparatively more complicated than the norm. All it'll take is a little bit of practice, and you too can become a Lord of Ruin. Even George Miller approves. Thanks for watching, everyone. I've been your host, R.R. Slugger, and until next time, happy scaping.